Today, E3 was dumb and stupid and gamers were let down. This is CheckPoint. Welcome to CheckPoint. We are, of course, recording this before the Child's Play charity golf tournaments. We'd like to take this opportunity to apologize for anything we may have done this past Friday.
Which was likely just disgracing the entire game of golf by trying to play.
Also, the likely dozen people we hit.
Square Enix has unveiled its next-generation Luminous engine with a stunning tech demo called Agni's Philosophy that makes in-game graphics look as good as cutscenes. This is great news for Square fans, since what's really been bogging down the Final Fantasy franchise is the fact that the games are not pretty enough.
Tekken Tag Tournament 2, the most alliterative game name since Dream Drop Distance, has partnered with hip-hopsman Snoop Dogg, whose track Knock 'Em Down is featured on the new title. As a pre-order bonus, players get an entire Snoop Dogg stage, featuring Snoop himself sitting in the background, like Shao Kahn in Mortal Kombat, except instead of monks, he's surrounded by hip-hop booty ladies. Luckily, inserting a real person into a world where bears fight with demons doesn't harm my suspension of disbelief at all, since Snoop is basically a cartoon character at this point.
Sega has announced an all-new racing game called Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing Transformed. Now, you might think that putting Sonic in a car is the stupidest thing about this game because he's technically already an all-terrain racing vehicle. You would be wrong. The stupidest thing is the quote that playable character and real-life NASCAR champion Danica Patrick says in the game's press release. I cannot wait for gamers to jump into my customized, transformable vehicles and give Sonic a run for his rings this holiday season. I actually find it easier to believe that a real human person would be racing against a cast of cartoon rodents in transforming vehicles than anyone, anywhere, would ever utter the phrase, give Sonic a run for his rings this holiday season.
Electronic Arts announced that Dead Space 3 will feature a drop-in, drop-out co-op mode where you can take on the necromorphs with a buddy. While this seems like it would completely kill all the tension, in a game where other crew members routinely explode into horrible mutant death zombies, having another guy standing right beside you is actually one of the least comforting things you could do.
E3 was last weekend. As always, the internet is in a civil war about who won, who lost, and why no gaming company seems to be able to put on a show that speaks to gamers. Graham is so irritated, he's going on point.
Okay, I've got a bone to pick. As a hardcore gamer, I was disappointed by the E3 press conferences. There were some cool nuggets in there, sure, but most of it was either stuff we already know or a bunch of casual crap like motion controls and social integration. It's like how, as a fervent user of Apple products, their quarterly earnings call doesn't interest me in the slightest. Or how, as a moviegoer, I hate that Madagascar 3 is all kiddie and stupid. Or maybe I'm just not the right audience. Attention gamers, E3 is not for us. It's an industry event where everyone wants to look good for investors and journalists. The bulk of the show is letting the games media get playtime with the games and FaceTime with the people who make them so they can all tell you about the cool stuff that's coming up. All we see is the bullshit and usher performances at press conferences, and gamers and gaming journalists don't care about that, right? No, but newspapers do. Television does. It gets the game companies press with people who wouldn't otherwise care. Did Ubisoft need to unveil Watch Dogs at E3? No. They could do it like they do every other announcement. Send the trailer with a press release to Joystick Kotaku, Polygon Gamasutra, Destructoid the Escapist, and the Penny Arcade Report, and we'd see it, because we care about games. Which is why we care when E3 sucks this year. Folks, for us, it sucks every year. They don't need to sell us this stuff because we're already buying it. All this gamer rage at E3 is like being a roller coaster aficionado at Disneyland. There's still content for you there, but there's a whole lot of other stuff, and if you start whinging that there's a cartoon mouse between you and Space Mountain, you're gonna look like you're missing the point.
Well, regardless of all that, Graham, I think we can all agree that Microsoft won E3 because they had Usher.
What? No, Ubisoft won because they had Flow Rida.
I suppose you're right. I guess Nintendo actually won because it didn't have any rappers at their damn press conferences. Coming up, Heavy Rain developer Quadratic Dream revealed a new game at E3, and it looks like an actual game this time!